In a universe where hope burns out faster than stars, and the screams of dying worlds echo across endless darkness, few dare to ask the question that has destroyed empires: what truly rules the galaxy, gods, or the chaos inside us? Today, we venture into the forgotten truth of Warhammer 40k. Not the stories whispered by frightened soldiers in the trenches, not the myths carved by Imperium scribes to keep people obedient, but the real tale of the 8 gods of chaos, and the mortal souls who learned that the greatest war was not fought with weapons, but with identity, temptation, and the choices that define who we become. Stay until the end. Because the final question will not be about the gods, but about you. The story begins on the dying world of Vornath, a planet where the sun hangs low and red, dripping light across broken cities and sand-filled trenches. Here lives Arel, a young archivist apprentice, quiet and curious, the kind of boy who loved stories more than survival. While others hunted scraps of food, he hunted forgotten truths buried beneath ancient ruins. Arel never believed in heroes. He never believed in gods either, at least, not until the night the sky tore open. He was cataloging old imperial scrolls in the ruins of a burnt monastery when the ground trembled. The air thickened like hot oil. And then, the whispers came. Not one voice, but 8, overlapping, echoing through time itself. They spoke of war, of power, of destiny, of destruction, of freedom, of madness, of rebirth, of hunger. Arel collapsed to his knees, covering his ears, but the voices only dug deeper. That night, he dreamed of 8 figures standing above a burning galaxy, the 8 dark gods, each representing a part of the human soul twisted to its extreme. They were not distant divine beings. They were reflections, shadows shaped by mortal fear and desire. And they watched him. When Arel awoke, an ancient sigil smoldered on the stone floor. And in its center lay a single, impossible artifact, a shard of the immaterium, pulsing like a living heart. Holding it felt like holding fire and ice, hope and despair. It showed him visions, of the 8 gods tearing reality apart, of wars fought in their name, of champions rising and falling under their gaze, but it also showed him something no mortal was ever meant to see, the possibility that the gods could be stopped. Arel realized something devastating: the 8 gods were not born from power, they were born from humanity's pain, and if that was true, then humanity might also hold the key to ending them. But the moment he accepted this truth, shadows moved. For the 8 gods had felt his awakening. Across the galaxy, their champions stirred, warriors, monsters, prophets, each sensing the rise of a mortal who might change everything. And all of them began to hunt him. Arel fled his ruined monastery, clutching the burning shard, guided only by one thought: if he was going to survive, he needed to understand the gods before they found him. And so his journey began, toward truth, toward chaos, and toward a destiny written in the blood of empires. Arel's path led him into the shattered desert beyond Vornath's last city. There, half buried in sand, he found an ancient starship, a forgotten relic from the Great Crusade. Inside its dark corridors, filled with dust and echoes, he discovered a hololith chamber still functioning after 10,000 years, and here, in glowing light, the secrets of the 8 gods unfolded. Arel touched the shard to the console. The room ignited with swirling spectral flames, visions painted across the air like living nightmares. The first god, Khorne, the blood goat, a red giant formed, shaped from rage itself. He was war-given flesh, the fury of soldiers, the scream of battlefields. His domain was violence, but beneath it Arel saw something tragic. Khorne was born from the fear of helplessness, from every soul who ever felt powerless and chose anger instead. The second god, Nurgle, the lord of decay, a swollen figure of rot and life intertwined. But behind the foulness was warmth, a twisted comfort. Arel understood. Nurgle was born from despair, from people who gave up fighting and accepted suffering as their only companion. the third god, Tsench, the changer of ways, a shifting being of light and shadow, impossibly beautiful and terrifying. Tsench was hope corrupted, the desire to control fate, twisted into manipulation and lies. The fourth god, Slaanesh, the prince of excess, a figure of dazzling, painful beauty. Slaanesh was born from humanity's craving for perfection, pushed so far it became addiction, obsession, self-destruction. As Arel watched, the chamber shook. The shard grew heavier, more gods emerged. The fifth, Malice, the god of anarchy born from rebellion when justice dies. The sixth, Zal, the god of endless hunger, a new god rising from humanity's consumption, desire, and greed. The seventh, Nkarieth, the goddess of forgetting born from the wish to erase trauma, no matter the cost. The eighth, Vorthelos, the god of identity lost, the most frightening of all. A god created from the fear of not knowing who we truly are. Arel staggered back. The truth was too much. These 8 gods, they weren't just monsters ruling the galaxy, they were humanity's own shadows, grown powerful because humanity fed them. The visions ended. Silence fell. Arel collapsed to the floor in tears, not from fear, but from realization that if the gods lived because humanity empowered them, then the only way to defeat them was not through war, but through changing what humanity becomes. That he had no army, no weapons, no teacher, but he did have a mission now, a mission that echoed across the burning stars: understand the chaos within us, or be ruled by it forever. And as Arel rose, clutching the shard, the hololith flickered one last warning: the gods have seen you. Their champions are coming. The real war had just begun.